What's up, guys? I'm Laura from Reading in Bed, and today I'm doing the Book Snob book tag. And yes, we're back in the industrial park. It seems to be, I really like this location for doing this kind of thing, like a book tag that really needs no preparation and doesn't require me to have books at my disposal. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. So this tag was created by Tia and all the books pretty recently, and it's really making the rounds, and I really like it. So even though I wasn't tagged, I'm just gonna do it. So the first one is Adaptation Snob. Do you always read the book before you see the movie? No, definitely not. I'm sure I've been snobby about that before, but I can easily think of examples where the movie's better than the book, and the one I'll mention is Children of Men, which I definitely saw in the theater before I went back and read the book, and the movie's way better than the book. So while I probably have been snobby about that in the past, I'm not anymore. Okay, question 2 is Format Snob. You can only choose one format in which to read books for the rest of your life: physical, ebooks, or audiobooks. Okay, so I would choose physical, but not due to snobbery, because I actually really appreciate ebooks and audiobooks, and I have no qualms about saying, you know, I've read something even if I only listen to it. So it's nothing about that. It's more about ownership of the books, because especially me, because I access ebooks and audiobooks almost exclusively from the library. So, you know, I don't really own them. And I think even when you pay for ebooks and audiobooks, you're technically more like leasing it from, you know, from Amazon or wherever you get them. So for that reason, I would choose physical books. Okay, question 3 is Ship Snob. Would you date or marry a non-reader? Yes, I have, currently do, and would again. I was thinking back, and I can only think of one of my ex-boyfriends that even was a reader, and he wasn't a big reader, and he only read, like, biographies. Not that that means he's not a reader, but like we didn't read the same kind of stuff. And my husband, when I met him, wasn't a reader at all, hadn't probably read a book in quite a while, and I didn't see him read books for the first couple years that we were together. Now, due to my good influence, obviously, he does set himself an annual reading goal. He tries to do a book a month or 12 books a year, and he has a little list on his phone and he keeps track. But again, he reads so differently from me. He reads pretty much business books, which I hate. Usually he'll let me choose one book for him a year. But even when I do that, like one year I chose The Orenda for him by Joseph Boyden, which is a book I loved. And he read it. I could tell he was into it because he was making time to read it. And when he was done, I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about this now. I was like, well, what did you think? And he said, it was pretty good. Like, that was it. So yeah, I don't really look to my relationships for that. It's not like, you know, a criteria I look for, obviously. Okay, question 4 is Genre Snob. You have to ditch one genre never to be read again for the rest of your life. Which genre do you choose? Well, for me, because I actually don't read, I mean, I do read kind of widely, but not really. Like, there are genres that I don't read. So I chose fantasy, or like sometimes I hear people talk about high fantasy, and honestly, I don't even know what that is. So like, I'll go with that. Question 5 is Uber Genre Snob. You can only read from one genre for the rest of your life. Which genre do you choose? Obviously, I would choose literary fiction, and Mark Nash did a version of this tag in which he discusses, you know, why literary fiction is kind of not really a genre anyway. He's done videos about that in the past, so like, you know, he will discuss that better than me. You can go check out his video, but literary fiction. Question 6 is Community Snob. Which genre do you think receives the most snobbery from the bookish community? Well, it depends which bookish community, because like most communities, the bookish community isn't a monolith, and I'm sure people within the romance community might disparage one genre, while people in the YA book community might disparage a different one, and people in the literary fiction kind of community would disparage others. So, you know, it goes all ways, but I'm sure the right answer is probably romance and YA. And I'm sure that some of that is due to sexism, because they tend to be genres that are read by women, and particularly younger women, though not exclusively, obviously. So on the one hand, it's like, yeah, probably sexism, but on the other hand, like, they're kind of like not really like, whenever I read from those genres, I don't like it, and I think it's trash for the most part. Like, not always. Okay, but I mean, yeah, I guess if there's one question that's gonna bring out the book snob in me, this will be the one. So yeah, let's maybe just move on. But yeah, I'll go with romance and YA. maybe deservedly. Okay, so the last question is Snobbery Recipient. Have you ever been snubbed for something that you have been reading or for reading in general? For something I've been reading, only like light teasing from people I know in real life. Like my mom makes fun of the fact that I'm always reading these like weird books. As I've gotten more into world literature and translation, she'll often ask me what I'm reading and be like, oh, what is that? And she had a comment about, I had the Story of the Stone out. I don't think I'm actually going to read it, but oh, you know, you're reading a Chinese classic. That's, you know, so weird and whatever. So she'll kind of bug me about that. And my husband will bug me about, like if I'm reading a big classic or something, he'll tell me, you know, I'm wasting my time on escapist fiction. I think he said that about A Tale of Two Cities at one point. But other than that, not really for specific stuff I'm reading. I mean, if I'm reading trash, I'm reading it on my Kindle, so no one knows, obviously. And as far as being snubbed for reading in general, definitely when I was younger, like from I'd say grade 5 through 7, like almost complete social ostracization, especially grade 7. Grade 7 is so hard. And I mean, it wasn't the only reason. I was like just, I didn't have a lot going for me in grade 7, but the fact that I was always reading and I had good grades and, you know, whatever, like it didn't help my case. Let's put it that way. Okay, so that is it. Short and sweet tag. I will tag a couple of people real quick. Snow White Reader, Shay, Books Are My Social Life, a new channel to me, Spinster's Library, and Joseph Francis Burton. I'll tag them all below, and that's it. So thanks for watching.